Hey Libras, it's April the Organic Alchemist, and I am here with your full moon manifestation and abundance reading for February. This reading will go from the full moon in February to the new moon in March. If you do happen to come across this video at a later date and feel inspired to watch it, know that there is something for this reading that is going to resonate with what you are currently working on. That said, if you guys like what you see, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps YouTube to know that I'm worth sharing with other people. Sorry guys, I had to put this here because there was like a crazy glare from the sunset. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And as always, I love getting your comments. If I know what you're enjoying and what's helpful and resonating with you guys, then I can make more of that. All right, so for our Libras, getting right into it with the overall theme or energy going on with your manifestations right now. Take a look at your direction. Spirit, show us where our Libras are on the map with their manifestations. What do they need to know? All right. So Libra, follow your bliss. That is the first message from Spirit. That's your overall theme. You are navigating by the stars. Now, you may have a mountain to face. That may be part of what is going on with you, but Spirit is telling you that even as you're doing that, even though there's a mountain before you, follow your bliss. Stay in that state of peace, that state of joy, that state of knowing that regardless of what's going on, what is beneficial and positive for you is going to manifest. So let's see how this energy is showing up in your reality, Libra. How is this energy showing up for our Libras, Spirit? How is this energy showing up for them? All right, interesting. Okay, so it looks like you guys are feeling some blocks in your solar plexus chakra, your third chakra. So this is really all about will and self-esteem and following those gut instincts. So there may be a part of you as you're approaching this mountain, or part of what's preventing you from following your bliss is potentially feeling worthy of what's on the other side of the mountain, feeling worthy of having things be so easy, even though there is a mountain that everybody could see, but you're just like gliding up it and kind of dealing with the fact that, or maybe even the idea that you can glide up it, or that it's going to be worth that what you get is going to be worth anything if it is easy. You know, a lot of us have this whole thing of like, I have to work for it. I have to work really hard. So that may be part of what's going on there. Also, follow your gut instincts on how to follow your bliss as you're climbing up this mountain, and which turns to take and which paths to take. And the last thing is your will. And I think that's going to come out because there may be something going on that is making you feel like either you can't exert your will and follow your bliss, whether that's thought forms, or other people, or you're kind of projecting it outside of you as other people instead of your own thoughts. So let's see how this is actually showing up in Libra's experience. Spirit, show us how this is showing up in Libra's experience. All right, Libra, right now it looks like there is an element of what's going on with you where you're either tired of juggling and multitasking, like you're just over it. There may be some confusion about how to move forward. Like there may be a part of you that's like, okay, well, I'm trying to follow my bliss, but there's this doggone mountain, and how can climbing a mountain be bliss? And I'm like, hey, you know, perseverance. That's the next card you got is, you know, there definitely is some confusion, maybe about a decision that you've made or a decision that you're about to make. And the spirit is telling you, to persevere, to continue to walk through it. Now part of what is going on is there is also, this is a really interesting read because there's also this aspect where it may be this perseverance, and even though it doesn't appear to be moving forward the way that you want it to, and in that it doesn't appear to be like, it feel like this is telling me that right now what you're doing kind of feels like work. Like it doesn't feel, you know, passionate and engulfing and just like, yes, this is how I want to be spending my time. It feels more like you're having to work for it. And so I think part of what's going on here is spirit reminding you to find the bliss and the joy in it. But we're going to get into your work, and that usually explains so much of what's going on, because the minute you know what you need to do, a lot of times you're like, oh yeah, that's the scenario that goes to right there. All right. Nice to know. Thanks, April. Really appreciate you pointing that out to me. Anyway, so let's look at what affirmation you want to give to our Libra spirit so that they can manifest the most beneficial outcome for themselves in this scenario. So it also may be a scenario, I'm also getting here that for some of you, you've kind of made this decision and you're confused because you are persevering, but you're not, but again, it's not coming out like, yeah, there's a part of you that's confused because you're like, I'm persevering, I'm going up the mountain, but this just does not feel fun. This does not feel enjoyable. I am not passionate about this. I'm just like, I'm climbing a mountain here, y'all. Like that's kind of what I'm getting for you guys. Is like, you're like, okay, I'm supposed to follow my bliss, but then my bliss is taking me up this mountain. Just remember, people hike for fun. Like, so, you know, people mountaineer for fun. All right. So the first part of your work, the affirmation that you're being given and the direct guidance or the direct message from your guide. So first of all, instincts. So spirit is telling you, I act on my instincts and notice the signs and symbols in my life. So again, that goes back to where I was talking about with this, you know, kind of reversed solar plexus chakra. So number one, Archangel Chamuel is who you can, like that's literally the guide that's coming up to help you with this. And two, this is saying like, it's the fact that you're missing those gut instincts that is part of what is making this feel so challenging. So that is part. So, and in that, you know, that third chakra being blocked. So you're not either hearing or feeling those instincts that will let you know how to do this the easy way, how to do this the way that makes you feel like you're following your bliss. The second part that's coming up that your guides want you to do is ask for your needs to be met. Ask for what you need to get up this mountain. If you need some water to get up this mountain, ask for it. If you need some tools, you know, if you need some gear, like whatever it is for this manifestation that you're working on, ask for help. There are people around you. This card does not come up if there are not those around you who are willing to be of service to help you through this moment. What I'm getting is for some of you, literally, there are people who live for this. They're like, no, call me, ask me for help. Like, this is what I do. So, and you have that person in your life. There are some of you who literally, like, you have that person who's like, dude, this is what I do. Just ask. So ask for your needs to be met and follow your instincts. So those are your first two things, and you have your affirmation. So let's look at your light work, shadow work. All right. Interesting. So that actually, yeah, I mean, you're allowing this to be depleting. So that makes sense. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. I just want to I like getting your mindset and soul evolution work simultaneously, because a lot of the times the cards relate to each other, and it allows me to just be fuller in my first time around in talking about this. All right. Yep. There we go. So I just want to look at this. So you guys are working through, whoo! That's why we have this here right now, because the sun is kind of like halfway setting here on Maui, and yeah, it's bright. So you guys are working through the vampire archetype in reverse. And so this is one of two things. One, this is, you know, just sucking off of other people's energy, which may be true for some of you, or it may be a situation where it's not so much like this kind of negative sucking off of someone else's energy, but there also may be a situation where you're just used to being fed by someone instead of feeding yourself. So that may be part of what you're working through, where that person, where either you or that person is feeling in need for some separation or some distance. And so you're learning how to deal with that. The other part of this is just codependency and complaining and being stuck in negative thought forms, which I kind of feel here in the sense of, I feel like you thought that this was going to go a certain way. And so there may be aspects of you that are in this place of just complaining and being really unhappy about the fact that this isn't easier right now. And so what you guys are working into is really understanding, with the vampire archetype of the relationship of feeding and energy and how to create reciprocal relationships. We always want to be in relationships, if possible, where there's an equal give and take. Now, if you've been on the planet long enough, you understand that there may be extended periods of time where one person has more to give, and so they give more than the other person. But the whole thing with that is that if there should be a shift, then that dynamic would shift. And so that is part of that understanding that you're working into. And whether you've projected this outside of yourself and you're allowing other people to be draining, or you're allowing life to be draining because of the thoughts that you're putting through there. Oh, hey, chicken. Or whether it's someone outside of you, whether you're projecting it or internalizing it, whichever way it's going, that is the archetype that you need to work on. And surrendering fear is the mindset soul work that's coming up, soul evolution work that's coming up. And it's letting go of these fearful stories. And I think that I really think that it's you who's draining yourself. I feel like you're being your own vampire by really attaching yourself to the way that you think things should look, so that you think that this mountain should look a certain way. And so you're not able to get into the bliss and the enjoyment of climbing this mountain, because it's just feeling so hard. But part of the reason why it's feeling so hard is because of the things that you're telling yourself, the negative stories, the fear that you're putting out there. So that is the work that needs to be done there, Libra. So let us look at what outcomes you guys can expect if you do this work. So what outcomes can our Libras expect, Spirit, if they do their work here? Where's it going for them? All right. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, guys. So first and foremost, we have the Four of Cups in reverse. So the Four of Cups, in the traditional deck, in the upright, is all about kind of being bored, having all these options, and just not being satisfied with any of them. And so the Four of Cups here, in our After Tarot deck, you know, upright, it looks like he's kind of getting rid of, you know, the things that he didn't want. Here, what I feel like is you seeing the value in the things that you didn't see the value in before. And so there is an element of ridding yourself of that which isn't serving you. But I think that there's also, with this, in doing this work, it's really starting to see the value in what is right there before you. And then we have the Hermit, where this is, again, the next step of the Hermit, where, you know, before, you know, in the traditional deck, the Hermit is all, you know, he's all hermiting. you know, and kind of learning and gathering information. And here you see the Hermit has kind of learned the lesson, learned how to manifest. And that's part of the snake, where he has literally learned how to transform the staff into the snake. So he's learning that idea of transformation, transforming, transmuting those thoughts so that we can create what we want to create. And then we have the Page of Cups here, literally walking into his future, leaving whatever, you know, negativity, whatever was saying to him that he couldn't do it, and walking into that passionate, enjoyable future that he is working to create. So that is the outcome we've got for you, Libra, if you just keep doing this work. So get on it, y'all. That is some good stuff. So let's see what our final message is for our Libras. What is the final message for Libra, Spirit? What is the final message? Oh, interesting. All right. So yes, Libra, you're being told whatever this is that you're fearful about, that is keeping you from asking for your needs to be met, from following your instincts, from really being able to follow your bliss, whatever story it is that you're making up, Spirit is letting you know nothing is going to come of that. Like, let that go. I've never seen a clearer, like, just let that go. Like, don't stop holding on to whatever is making this hard for you, because nothing is going to come of it. Whatever story it is that you're telling yourself that is making it hard for you, let that go. All right, Libras. Well, as always, I hope that this was truly helpful and beneficial to you guys. I love you guys. I will see you next reading. And until then, keep on living your best life. Take care. Bye.